Hello, this is Yahweasel. Let's play Soko-Ban. Soko-Ban is one of my favorite puzzle games. It's more a style of puzzle game, if you haven't heard of it. Obviously, there was an original Soko-Ban. This isn't it. The original first three versions of Soko-Ban were only released in Japan. This is the earliest version that was released in, well, let's just say in English. Let's go with that. And so this front screen has the credits. No credits to the Japanese people who invented the game at all. So that's real nice of them. Anyway, I'm playing it in Tandy mode, partially just for variety, and partially because it's better than the CGA mode, which is the only other option. We now have, like 5 or 6 colors, which is a lot compared to the 4 we would have in Tandy mode. Okay, so you'll figure it out as we go along. It's not that complicated. I'm just going to play in normal single-player mode. It does have multiplayer, but it's a little bit silly. So basically, the idea is you move this character around, around this area, and you have to get all of these boxes into their appropriate, these slots here, these little sort of diamond-shaped slots. And the trick to it is you can only push boxes, and you cannot, thus you cannot pull boxes, because you can only push them. You can undo, but not very much. It has a very, very short undo, and I suspect that the original Japanese version had no undo whatsoever. And so if you push it into a corner, for example, too bad. That box is now irretrievable. Because once it's in the corner, you can't get behind it to push it out of the corner. And when it's against a wall like this, I can't push it away from the wall, but of course if I push it down this way, then I can at least get it to a position where I can, push it in a different dimension. So, that's the idea. It's a really, really simple sort of concept for a puzzle. Actually, I'll do this one first. Concept for a puzzle game, but it is surprisingly complex. Now, I have played, it's actually been quite a while since I played Sokoban. I have played many iterations of Sokoban. Most of them rip off the original puzzles. This one, quite explicitly, like this is the exact same puzzle that you will get as the first puzzle if you play the Japanese Sokoban, I'm fairly certain. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, so long as they have the rights to do that, which they may or may not have had. So there you go, you see I beat this level because they are flashing crazily. And we move on to level 2. There's a save screen, of course. I can save and then just continue. You can also skip to any level you feel like, but I'm just going to stick with the levels I actually, I'm just going to go one by one. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, things are a little bit more complicated here, and maybe you can start to see where things get complicated. So, what I was trying to say was, I have played many versions, and most of them use sort of the same puzzles. Thus, a lot of these, at least for the first little bit, I might get fairly quickly, not because... Oop, that was not something I wanted to do. Whew, undo feature. It's there. I will figure out fairly quickly, not because I'm some kind of amazing Sokoban savant, but because I've already done it. It's not new to me. It might be new to you, but it's not new to me. So a few of these will be in that category. I believe I remember the sort of trick to this one, which the important part of the trick I've already done. It's how you push, how you get them. I can use my cursor actually. How you get this little sort of organization down there that needs to be exactly like that to work correctly. Okay. Tandy graphic. I never had a Tandy. It would have been... I was well in the Commodore camp at that age. Not that I was really in a camp, since I was very, 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 very young. Like, kind of just born. Very, very young. But, you know, the computers I had early in my life were Commodores, because that happened to be my dad's preference. So I definitely would have never played the Tandy version of this. I don't think I had the Commodore version. I think I only ever found Sokoban. In fact, I remember it well. The first time I ever played Sokoban, bizarrely enough, was on the Compaq iPac. Which model did I have? The 3850, maybe? I just want to make sure I don't screw this up. It's easy to screw up. Okay. something like that. It was a clone that was for, you know, Windows Mobile. But that was the first time I ever found it, and I thought, oh wow, this is brilliant. How can this just be some weird little toy game on the compact iPack that for some reason I have because I'm such a gadgeteer, but nobody else would? And the answer is that it's not. It is a classic game that I just had been completely unaware of. So I definitely never played the Commodore version either. So this is actually the earliest version I have played in any context, which is pretty interesting. Well, not interesting, but it's pretty, I don't know, it's something. It's neat. It's neat that I'm getting to play the earliest, version of Sokoban, basically that I could have possibly played. This was the first, release outside of Japan. Anyway, so yes, this is Sokoban. Now, the reason I'm playing Soko-Ban, after all that time, it's been 6 minutes of me pushing around boxes, is I like to play a puzzle game, just one episode per main series, to give me sort of a chance to talk about what's going on in the main series and anything else I feel like gibbering about. And the reason I like to do that in puzzle games is that, although it certainly requires thought, there's really not a lot to react to. Oops, definitely didn't want to do that. Glad undo exists. There's not, you know, that much to think about during puzzle games. You can just sort of do it. Anyway, I had previously been playing Space Station Theta, but then I beat Space Station Theta. I asked for suggestions of other games to play. I got 2 puzzle game suggestions. This was one of them, and it's an obvious one since I had talked about it in, I think, Clark and probably other places. But the other one is recent enough that I talked to the producers to see if they have a Let's Play policy, and they haven't gotten back to me. So if you were the one who suggested a different game, which I shan't name in case they eventually say no Let's Plays, then that is the reason why I'm playing this instead. They have not gotten back to me. And it's not their fault. I am being impatient, so they may very well have gotten back to me by the time this went up. Okay, that's that. And then the last thing that I usually talk about during these, what do I need to do? Something like that? Yeah. The last thing that I like to talk about during these inter-series, puzzle games is what I'll be playing next. So, the current top vote on Yahweasel.com/poll, which I do encourage you to use if you want to have any influence over what I play next. The current top vote... Oops, I should have just pushed that straight in. That's fine. The current top vote is Quest for Glory 4, which, yeah, I will definitely play Quest for Glory 4. There is no doubt about that. But I just finished Quest for Glory 3. Like, that was the second most recent series I've played. I don't really think I need to get to Quest for Glory 4 just yet. So, I'm going to ignore the number 1 choice for voting enthusiasts. That is well, that's the Condorcet method, but specifically... I forget which modification of the Condorcet method it is. It doesn't matter. And also, I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's Condorcet or something. Damn French. Anyway, I'm going to ignore that top selection and go with the board account, which is the second thing I have on that page, which puts Mother 1 or Earthbound 0 as the top choice. I think that's a good option, because I haven't played an RPG in a while, a couple of months, and it's one I definitely wouldn't have played. I actually haven't played Earthbound, and I certainly haven't played the translation of the Japanese version of Earthbound. Look at all that flashing. Look at that. I've remembered these first 3 levels. I'm not just amazing. It is strictly memory up to this point. And in fact, it may very well be that all of the levels in this Soko-Ban are levels I was already familiar with. Ooh, this is tricky. Can I do... No. If I push that... What do I do? Let me actually save, and then saving also resets the level. So this was definitely right. There's no question that that's what you need to do there. This is a bit tricky. By the way, the story, as far as Soko-Ban has any kind of story, which obviously it doesn't, the story is that you are... Well, you basically, this is your job. Your job is pushing boxes around. You're like in charge of the storage situation in some office building or something like that. And it's a crap job. It sucks, but that's your job, so you got to do it. I feel like I need to push this through. This feels all wrong, but it isn't actually unrecoverable. So maybe this is fine. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's good. That'll work. Sometimes, and it definitely hasn't gotten there yet, but sometimes the trick is less about how to get them sort of into that last room than it is moving them in the right order and making sure that you can actually push them within that last room in the right order, because you can get in a situation where you've gotten it into the last room, but because of how you arranged all the other boxes, it's impossible to put it where you want it, and that is incredibly frustrating. But that's the nature of the game. That's Soko-Ban, so there you go. Oops. But I hopefully won't do that, because I have enough experience with Soko-Ban that won't happen. I am still well within levels I've played before. In fact, I'm 90% sure that this level was on the version I had for the Compact iPack. So I once played this on a pocket computer, on a PDA. The era of PDAs are long since gone, but their successor, the smartphones, are quite successful. So that's back before there were smartphones, there were smart handheld devices that did not connect to the internet. Oh, yeah, I think there was an expansion for the iPack that would give it a modem, not like an Ethernet port, certainly not Wi-Fi. This is very pre-Wi-Fi, oh, in fact, did it have a compact flash slot? Yeah, it had a CF slot. So I guess you could have ultimately even gotten Wi-Fi for it, because that was definitely eventually supported by CF. I am just blathering, but I mean, how much am I supposed to talk about in Soko-Ban? So if you want, you know, random gadgeteering with Yahweasel, you came to the right place. Oh, man. I'm gonna have to put some background music in, by the way, because the sound of this jerk twiddling along, ticka-taka, 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 although it is a heck of a lot better than the sound you get in the CGA version that just uses the PC speaker, is still very, very annoying. So, yeah. Definitely, future Yahweasel, put some kind of background music in this, or it's going to be incredibly annoying. So you'll notice I didn't move these two yet. It's because to move them usefully, don't do that, to move them usefully, I'm going to need to push them back into that previous room. But if that previous room was still full, then moving them back would not be an easy process. So I'm hoping that I did the right thing by moving those all out of the way. Well, no, I'm not hoping I did the right thing. I know I did the right thing because I've played this level many times before. This is level 4 of Soko-Ban, the one and only. By the way, you'll notice that the difficulty ramps up very quickly. There's no sort of tutorial level or anything like that. This is a game from the days before tutorial levels. There was no such concept. You just figured it out, and if you didn't figure it out, then you suffered. Too bad. Oops, that was one too far, but that's fine. You'll notice, by the way, that it counts your pushes and the time and the moves. I don't care so much about that. Really, this is beyond the Atari era. Nobody cared about your points. But if you were playing in tournament mode, which it does have, that's how you would decide who won in the tournament. Because obviously, everybody's going to figure it out eventually, if you have enough resets and that kind of thing. But if you count the pushes and count the time, then you can say, yeah, this person did it in less pushes or you know, less time, whatever. So that's what those are for. They obviously don't matter that much to me, because I'm just playing it single player. But that's, you know, that's how it is, so there you go. Oop. This just feels so nostalgic to me, and it's bizarre because it's not nostalgic for this. Like, this I never played. I've played this game with this puzzle, but not in this sort of environment. It was certainly never on a Tandy, which I didn't own, or even on DOS whatsoever. So I'm having this weird, like, semi-nostalgia that doesn't quite match with reality, but hey, it's still fun. It's still Soko-Ban. Oh man, it really is. It's a brilliant game because it's very, very simple, but there is a lot of thought to it. And I do think that most puzzles only have one right answer. Like, they might have trivial modifications. You can do boxes in a different order or something like that, but there's no important way in which the solutions vary. But it is surprisingly complicated within that sort of limited framework. Like checkers, I suppose. Except not as complicated as checkers. There we go. 933 moves, 359 pushes, 5 minutes for that one. We'll see if I remember the fifth level. Ooh, I immediately recognize the layout. I don't really remember what you're supposed to do, but I'll figure it out. So I actually think this is a little bit misleading, because unusually it's safe to have these 3 in a row like that, which usually you would never want 3 in a row, because then they're fairly stuck. But that actually works out. Yeah, there's a lot of these where it's like you put it somewhere where in any other situation you wouldn't want it there. Oops, yeah, this was definitely wrong. I might have to reset this level, actually. I think I have screwed it up irrevocably. Yep, fairly certain I've screwed it up irrevocably. Oh dear. Is there a reset button? I don't know, I don't think there is. Ah, there we go, yes, that'll do. You just go back into the elevator and then come back in. All of the boxes have been moved back! Who the heck put all my boxes back? I think that was the right way to start. There we go. That was definitely not the right way to start. That was definitely not the right way to start. I put them... So the reason that was the wrong way to start is that I had them all around an edge. Like around a corner, so I could have never pushed them out again. That was definitely wrong. Boy, I'm not remembering this level at all. Do I do... I feel like it has to be that. And yet that must be wrong. Ooh, unless you can do this. Ah, there we go. I think that makes that a little bit better. Yes. Okay. I have a thought. Took me a while to remember this one. It is, like I said, they ramp up the difficulty very quickly. There's no sort of easy mode to work with. Where do I have to move these? Because I want to get this one out of the way. That's going to be important here. But if I can't get back, then that's not going to help me any. I don't think that's a mistake. This is one of those things, like, everything about Soko-Ban is you have to wait a very long time before determining if you've made a terrible mistake, and I actually can see instantly that I've made a terrible mistake. Oh, I don't think I'm starting this level right. I'm almost positive that... Oh, you know what? If I do this, then that doesn't help me at all. Hooray! Well, that was fun. Okay. Boy. God, why I feel kinda doofy for not figuring out this level. This is a very early level to be this stuck on. I don't feel like there was a way to do that better. I don't feel like there was a way to do that better, and it's definitely still recoverable, which is the important part. So I'm going to try and push more boxes in, and maybe I can clear up enough space that then it'll become obvious what I'm supposed to do with the others. Sometimes you just have to stop trying to think so far ahead and just get rid of the ones that you can get rid of instantly. Because if they're just going to continuously be in the way, then that doesn't help at all. Yep, I can get lots of them out of the way already, so I haven't completely screwed up. By the way, I'm fairly certain this isn't running at sort of correct Tandy speed. only because the speed it was running in CGA mode when I was testing that was much slower. But you know what? I like it at this speed. It's a little bit nicer than the much slower speed it was working at in CGA mode. Here we go, here we go. See, I'm getting lots of them out of the way, so... oh, right, oh yeah, and now that I'm getting all of these out of the way, I'll be able to get this guy more properly out of the way. There you go, there you go. Now I'm figuring it out. I remember Soko-Ban. I feel like I just went through exactly the same thought process as I did years ago playing this on the compact iPad 3850. Oh, I feel like that isn't right. Was it the 3835 or something? I actually still have it. I could go and rummage through a drawer and look and know exactly what it was, but it wasn't an HP iPack. This was pre-HP buying compact, so it was a compact iPack. That's the most it's like I'm playing Soko-Ban, which has nothing to do with the handheld computers, but that is what it makes me nostalgic for weird and silly reasons. Here we go. This must all be good. I can't be screwing things up here. This has to be right, because if it's not, then the universe hates me. Okay, yeah, because now I can push this down, and I've got plenty of room to get round. Okay, okay, everything's good, guys. Everything's fine. I haven't screwed it up. There we go. I had the right idea. I just wasn't quite doing it correctly. And then this, I think yeah, just have to follow the same path. Nothing amazing. But you will notice that 20 minutes in, well, 20 some odd minutes in, I'm just finishing level 5, so not an easy puzzle game. Not exceedingly difficult, but definitely not easy. Okay, let's continue on level 6. I cannot push this down. That would be a deal breaker. Where can I push anything? I actually can push this in a little bit counterintuitively, but I feel like that would screw me up later. Maybe if I do this. This seems like a good way to start. Yes! Yes! That can't be wrong. I mean, it can, but it isn't. Ooh. Okay, so like here's a situation down here. If I got something into these two slots, then these are completely inaccessible, so I need to make sure I worry about those early before screwing them all up. So, like, I am going to just fill in both of those slots immediately so that I don't screw them up later. There you go. Horizontal bands. Horizontal bands made that work. I didn't want to do that. There we go. Whew, undo function. I have no idea if the original Japanese version had an undo function. It wouldn't surprise me if it did. It wouldn't surprise me if it didn't. Just one of those things. Yep. Okay. I'm thinking what I'm going to do with those at the left, because obviously getting these all into place can't be a mistake, because all of the cells up there that were going to be problematic have already been filled, so there's no more trouble spots. But I'm still... oh, well, actually, no, never mind. Moving those up is easy. They're not that tricky. Okay, everything's good. Puzzle is solved. I'm doing this like some kind of amazing Soko-Ban pro. I shouldn't have told you that I remember all of these levels. I should have just let you believe that I was an amazing Soko-Ban savant. You know, I've played modifications of this, but I've never played the original. However, I am an amazing super genius at it, so therefore, this is no problem at all. I guess the other way I could accomplish that would be by, like, practicing over and over again and then just running them and doing post-commentary instead of live commentary like I usually do. In fact, like I always do. I have never done post-commentary. Even, yeah, I think I've once or twice screwed up and not recorded the audio, and I just re-recorded instead of doing post-commentary. Let's save again. I feel like sort of pessimistically saving every level as if it's going to screw up on me. I think this has 50 levels. I might be wrong. I think it has 50. It also has a level editor, so it has infinite levels. It has as many levels as people feel like editing into it. This is not a mistake. This is not a mistake. Now you can see where, like, the layout is going to get really, really tricky. Because if I push these in the wrong order, then this is going to fill very weirdly. and it's not going to allow me to put any more in. So I have to be very, very careful about the order that I push things into this room. Still, it can't be a mistake to fill up the room, because that's the goal. So that's not going to stop me from, you know, putting boxes in at all. I'm actually going to push this up into the corner there, so I don't forget about that corner later. Okay, I can push that out of the way perfectly safely. That lets me push this in. I would actually rather keep that spot free for later. Oh no! Oh, those two are in a corner. No! Let's do that again. I didn't notice I had pushed that into a corner. Okay, let me fast forward to roughly where I was, but without that in the corner. Okay, so I have to figure out how to manipulate this without pushing that into a corner. And I've got it. Got it. Not too obvious, but not exceedingly difficult either. I need to somehow push it into this room up here, or push any of those blocks into this room up here to get them out of the way. And then make sure that I can get back around to push it back again. For the moment I can, but I need to make sure that I don't screw it up and make it inaccessible. So I actually had to walk through the storage room to get those sort of put away. So, like, this is fine, but only because I can still access up in this direction. Oh, this isn't fine. This isn't fine at all. No, this is fine. Sorry, mild freak out, mild panic attack there. Okay, this is all good. There is no more enormous challenge left, except to make sure I fill in these last few slots in the right order so that I don't block off my own path. Let me go ahead and do this now, because I have to push it away from the wall, and I don't want to get that out of order. There we are. And actually, just to make sure I don't miss it, I'm going to go all the way around and do this now, rather than expecting myself to do it later and then forgetting, which would be bad. Okay, I can push this up. And... oh no! Oh no! I can't get anything up into that top slot now, can I? No! I screwed up the puzzle! Unless I can push one of those boxes all the way up and through. I think I can. Okay, I think I'm still good, but I didn't do it in quite the way I was thinking I was doing it. Okay, so I have to get one of those boxes at the left and one of those boxes at the top. That's fine. That I can definitely do. Whew, for a second there I was 100% convinced I had screwed that up. But I don't think I did. I think it's fine. Yes, okay. Oh man, mild heart attack when you're most of the way through a Soko-Ban level and you think you've completely just botched it. Oh boy. I do not immediately recognize this level. That doesn't mean I haven't played it. It might just mean that it's complicated enough that I'm not remembering it. Oh dear. Yep, it's definitely complicated, no doubt about it. I feel like I want to do this, and then this. Get this just into a corner. And then see if I can sort of get up and around and push that thing down. This is the only thing I can safely push there. That'll let me get this box out of the way, which I don't think is as helpful as whatever part of my brain just made me do that thinks it is. Yeah, because now that only helps if I can eventually get up and around, and I'm fairly certain I can't. Oh well, I could do this. Okay, I'm fairly certain I've screwed this up, but I was kind of on the right path, because what I would need to do is push this up here, but then, of course, now all of those are inaccessible, so that's not a useful thing for me to do! Okay, let's try that again. Get in the elevator, get off on the same floor. Conveniently, they have rearranged all of my boxes back how they were. And by conveniently, I mean inconveniently. Why did you rearrange all my boxes back how they were? Okay. We'll just try and finish off level 8 and then call that good enough for this first episode. What did I do? What did I do right so that I can establish... so that I can do that again? I can re-establish that. Ooh, this isn't right. Sorry to be silent. I think I might have screwed this up. I think there might be no way out of this, but I'm not... Oh, well, yeah, there definitely is now. Haha, great! I'm just gonna give this one more try, and if I get it botched again, then we'll continue it next time. I don't see how this can be wrong, because there's no other way to start that. There's no way to get into the rest of the level except for that. Maybe I need to go up around this way and handle these things first? They kind of seemed like an easy win, so I wasn't that worried about getting them, but maybe for some reason I need to get them out of the way? I can't imagine why. The thing is, like, if I push this one up, that is completely unhelpful. That's wrong. That will not help me one iota. And this one I can only push up, because I can't get around it without getting another block into the way. So what do I do? Where do I go? No, I don't think that was the right initial configuration. I think I screwed up from the very, very beginning. But I'm not sure what the right way to do it would be! I am positive now that I have seen this level, and beat it! In the Sokoban game I had for my iPack, I beat the entire game. But... yeah, that doesn't mean I remember them all. I remember the first ones better, because I replayed them many times before actually getting past them. It did save. It's not like I replayed them because I was incompetent and had to replay through the entire game over and over again. But I just, I did replay the beginning many times. I can get that one put away. I'm not stopping because I'm not convinced that I've screwed up. I'm sort of 75% convinced that I've screwed up, but not 100, so this might still be salvageable. It's only that I can't figure out a way to get into this space without putting blocks somewhere irrecoverable. And if I could, then we'd all be happy, but I can't. Yep. Nothing is going here. I do think I've screwed this up. I don't want to think that, but I do think that. Yeah, there's nowhere else I could push this but there, but as soon as it's there, I am punked. There is no escape. Yep, because that's plainly wrong. Now all three of those are inaccessible. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out next time, which, just like Space Station Fata, will be after an entire other main series. So, until then, I will be playing, Earthbound Zero, aka Mother. Let me just walk in circles, because that's amusing. That's what I will be playing. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, I've got hundreds more. Just click that channel button. Cheers! From Yahweasel.